Good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to be able to say to you, welcome to Cabal Vision HD, the new official Blood Bowl TV.
Hi everyone. Our goblin technicians have been working night and day for the last year in order to deliver you the best quality service ever.
Hi there folks, I'm the Sage, and in this video I'm going to be talking about starting Nurgle. That is, what are the positionals, what skills do they have, how do these work, as well as what are your options for a starting roster for the team. So thematically, Nergal is a very cool team. Nergal is the chaos god of disease, and you can really tell from the players, not just how they look, but also how their starting skills work, because they got disturbing presence and foul appearance and tentacles. Let's have a look at what Blood Bowl 2 has to say about the Nurgle. According to the game, the strengths are that they can frustrate tactics based on agility. This is very true. They can also frustrate tactics based on strength. This is also true. And they get a constant supply of rotters, which is actually pretty much irrelevant. The list of weaknesses says that they are fragile for a team given to combat. I don't really agree with this at all, because they have 9 regen positionals, 5 of them with armor 9 and the others with armor 8. They have expensive rerolls. This is definitely true. 70k is a lot. And they have poor ball handling capabilities. Well, this is true for rookie Nurgle. I think the most sensible way to discuss the strengths and weaknesses of Nurgle is in comparison with Chaos. So the reason that they suck even more than Chaos at rookie team value is because instead of having a full squad of Beastmen, you get probably 1 Pesky Core and the rest are Rotters, and Rotters kinda suck. What you get in return are a whole lot of foul appearance, disturbing presence, and regeneration. All nice things to have, but more nice to have later, and not so much nice to build your team around early. In addition, you get what many people consider to be the best big guy in the game, the Beast of Nurgle, and it makes for an excellent roadblock right from the get-go. Over at high team value, you'll find that Nurgle can do pretty much anything Chaos can, but better. That's because Pesky Cores are Beastmen, but better. You only get 4, but then you don't really need that much more. The Warriors are pretty much Chaos Warriors, but better. Okay, you lose a movement and an agility, but those aren't your core features anyway, and you gain some useful skills. Your big guy is better, and you get regeneration on all your important players. You do get rotters, but those are kind of, expendable, and they make for nice cheap fowlers. Let's go over Nurgle's positionals one at a time. Let's start off with the rotter. The rotter costs 40k, making him the tied cheapest lineman in the game. His stat line is 5338, which is, okay-ish. He's got decay, which is a purely negative skill, but it doesn't affect in-game at all. What it means is, if you suffer a casualty, you roll twice on the injury table and apply both results, so they fall apart more quickly. That's fine, they're cheap. They also have Nurgle's Rot, which they share with everyone on the team. And what Nurgle's Rot does is, if you kill someone who is eligible, that means no strength higher than 4, no stunty, and no regeneration, then they become a new rotter on your team. Unlike the Necromancer power that Undead and Necromantic teams have, the Rotter doesn't actually join your team until after the game, so you can't use him during the same match, which means this is another skill that doesn't affect you in-game at all. It's worth noting that the Rotters have not just general access, but also mutation access on normal rolls. This means you could go and give them lots of funky mutations, and there's probably some fun builds to be had there, but they're not likely to be very effective. Next up, we have the Pesky Cores, and Pesky Cores are pretty much Beastmen, but better. They are more expensive. They are 80k instead of 60k to buy them, and their stat line is the exact same, 6338. They've got horns as well. However, in addition, they've also got Nurgle's Rot and regeneration. And like Beastmen, they start off with general, strength, and mutation access. It's also worth noting that you can only have 0 to 4 Pesky Cores on your team, unlike Beastmen, which are the lineman positional for the Chaos team. Also similar to Chaos are the Nurgle Warriors. They're only 10k more expensive because they did drop a movement and agility, but in return you get disturbing presence and foul appearance and regeneration, and I guess Nurgle's Rot. So this player is dropping stats that the Warrior doesn't really need, and it gets some pretty fun stuff in return, so this is a great trade. Since not everyone knows the rulebook by heart, and some of these skills are fairly underused, and rightly so, I'll briefly go over what they do. So Disturbing Presence generates an area that is every square within 3 squares of the player that has it, and all opposing players within that area suffer a -1 to catches, to passing, and to intercepting, so not to pickups. This can be very crucial for disrupting people's handoff plays or passing plays. Importantly, Disturbing Presence stacks if you're in multiple of these areas. Foul Appearance is another example of a skill that we don't see all that often. What it does is anyone trying to block you needs to roll a 2+, otherwise their action is simply cancelled. This will not really protect your players all that much, but it can really frustrate someone's drive when their usual cascade of blocks just stops halfway through. Last up, we have the Beast of Nurgle. They cost 140k. They've got Movement 4, Strength 5, Agility 1, and Armor 9. Now, Agility 1 and Armor 9 is pretty much perfect for a big guy who wants Agility 2 anyway. They've got Loner, obviously, as they're a big guy. They've got Disturbing Presence and Foul Appearance, like the Warriors do. They have a Mighty Blow. They have the Rot that everyone does. They are really stupid, which can be annoying, but you kind of want them in the thick of it anyway. And they have a Regeneration and Tentacles. Tentacles are great on Strength 5, and you don't even need to skill them up for it, they just start off with them. They only have access to Strength skills, which is a pity, but then again, the most important mutation is one that you already have. They do get access to mutation on doubles, but typically people tend not to do that, although some people would give them claws. Another skill we don't see all that often is Tentacles, so here's a quick refresher on how it works. You roll 2d6 in order to escape the Tentacles, and you need to beat the number 5, so you need to roll 6 or higher. As the person trying to escape, you can add your strength, but the strength of the person you're trying to escape, so the Tentacles player, actually gets subtracted from your result. So while you only need to roll a 6 or higher if you're both, say, Strength 3, in order to escape a Strength 5 player, a Strength 3 guy would actually have to roll an 8 or higher, and that's only 42% chance. Failing to escape Tentacles just means you're stuck there, and it doesn't actually end your turn. A big issue with Nergal is that your positionals, in addition to your rerolls, are really expensive, which means you're not going to start with nearly all 9 of them. My preferred starting configuration for the Nergal roster is to take the Beast of Nergal, take all 4 warriors, which leaves you with only 1 Pesky Core and 2 rerolls. This does of course mean that you'll have to be very conservative with your reroll usage and very careful with where you position that Pesky Core, either because he's fragile but also because he's the only one who can reliably blitz very far. If you're someone who feels they really need their 3rd reroll, then you could choose to drop a warrior and replace him with a rotter. Personally, I don't like this too much. I want the warriors developed as quickly as they can, so you want to maximize the chance of them catching an MVP or a lucky block. Also, I think they're pretty crucial to the Nurgle playstyle, even at Rookie TV. You could also opt for 3 rerolls and 3 warriors and 3 Pesky Cores, but I would really miss the Beast of Nurgle with that setup. Normally, I never advise people to take the build that the game suggests, but in this case, we're actually on the same page. So you can save yourself some time by clicking the suggested build, but really, you want to name your players, right? Congratulations, you now know everything there is to know about the rookie Nurgle team. However, if you'd like to learn more about how to coach them, as well as how to build up a solid squad, then keep an eye on my channel. If you'd like to stay updated for when I release new videos, you can hit the subscribe button as well, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye folks.